Luka Doncic is the first player in history, when he signed the deal, he was already qualified for it because he's made All-NBA twice already. And so that's what makes this deal unique for him. That $207 million is already guaranteed. He doesn't have to even make All-NBA again.
How big of a priority was this to get this deal done?
Well, this was all of the priorities in Dallas. And, I think they had confidence, that they were going to be able to do that. But Luka Doncic wanted to wait until the Olympics were over. That Dallas contingent all flew over. All their leadership flew over to Slovenia yesterday. They're going to have a press conference today. His agent, Bill Duffy, told me that Luka's going to sign the contract today. But certainly for Dallas, this isn't just a face of their franchise. This is going to be, and is really, a face of the NBA. This is going to be a player who's going to win MVPs, and obviously in Dallas, they hope it's a player that's going to lead them to championships.
Imagine signing $200 million, how your hand would shake.
Mine would shake. I don't know about you.
It's the docu-sign. It's the docu-sign.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They push the docu-sign. Look, Woj, this deal gets done, right? Jason Kidd's there. Mark Cuban is still the owner. How big of a recruiting tool is this for the Dallas Mavericks in terms of the future as some of the West older players start to exit out for the Dallas Mavericks to make a serious, strong run at winning an NBA title again?
It's a good question, Keyshawn, because you look through the years with Dallas when they've had cap space, they've gone after, kind of those A-list free agents at kind of different periods. They've never really landed them. And there's a lot of things that players should like about Dallas. Listen, it's a big market. You've got a committed owner in Mark Cuban, state taxes in Dallas and Texas. All of those factors, that should lead players there. They've never really landed, the big time A-list free agents. You would hope with Luka Doncic, when they get to a point where they might have max cap space, that he's the kind of guy that guys are going to want to play with. But that remains to be seen. They thought that Kristaps Porzingis was going to be that co-star for him, a player that, fit with him. He's been injured in Dallas. He has tried to figure out really playing that secondary role with Luka. And I think this summer for Dallas is going to be important, to get Porzingis, A, healthy, and then B, I think Jason Kidd, being able to try to get the most of Porzingis, even if it's just to increase his trade value down the road.
Yeah, and Dallas, even with Dirk, they didn't have a magnet like this, and I think Luka and the peer respect that he seems to get around the league could be that magnet that finally lands them that other superstar if they can end up getting there. And with that, Woj, I want to ask you, because as Key said, the superstars that we know in the league right now, there's a lot of them that are towards now the end of their careers. At the end of this current deal that he just signed, LeBron James more than likely won't be in the NBA. Is Luka Doncic, in your mind, with a deal like this and at his age and knowing the impact he already is having on the game, would you say he's the league's next face?
He is. And I think, listen, Giannis is right there coming off that championship in his prime. I think Giannis's profile with fans, I think people's intrigue, respect for Giannis, I think really grew in this postseason, which is odd to say for a player who was the two-time MVP. But doing it in the postseason, winning a championship, that changes your stature. But I think Luka Doncic, how he plays the game, just what he brings, in arenas. I think he's a ticket seller, not just for Dallas, but all over the NBA. You are going to pay money to go watch Luka Doncic play. But there's no question. I think he's in that rarefied air of a player who's going to be, and I think at any given time, there's only one LeBron, there's only one Michael Jordan. And so I think when you say face of the league, I think sometimes there's going to be more than one. I don't know that one player fills that void for LeBron. Steph Curry is certainly still that at this point in his career. But Luka Doncic is that guy, and he's rapidly becoming, that player, not just for the Mavs, but for the entire league.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible to think, right? We go back to Bird, Magic, into Jordan, into Kobe, into LeBron. Like we've always had that guy, and maybe we're heading to a place where it'll be multiple players at this point being that face. Just a couple other NBA headlines with you, Woj, real quick. And one of them is the NBA investigating some of these sign-in trades that were pretty much agreed on the minute free agency began. Some tampering going on there. What's the latest on that and some of those deals like Lonzo Ball, Kyle Lowry?
Yeah, those two deals, the league informed those teams, players, agents over the weekend. We reported that they were investigating those. And so they'll go through it with the teams. I think the case, all four of those teams, New Orleans, Chicago for Ball, and then Toronto, Miami in the Kyle Lowry deal, that those were trades that were discussed back at the trade deadline. And that there was a structure in place for what a deal. At that time, they were just trades at the trade deadline for two players. One would be a restricted free agent, one unrestricted, that were probably not long for what Ball in New Orleans and then Kyle Lowry in Toronto. There was a structure in place. Ultimately, the deals that got done at the beginning of free agency, they went pretty far down the road with them at the trade deadline. So I think that's going to be the case the teams made, was we already knew what a deal looked like. We were able to talk about it then. But, the NBA, they kind of doubled down on their tampering rules in 2019. The owners did. Bigger fines, potential suspensions for executives, loss of draft picks. And they do leave out the possibility they could void contracts. I don't believe, there's nobody I talk to who believes they're going to void contracts. But there may be fines involved that are more significant. They can fine teams up to $10 million. And then, of course, the loss of picks, I think, are the most significant if these teams are found of that wrongdoing. But Kyle Lowry is going to play for the Heat, and Lonzo Ball, I believe, is going to play for the Bulls when this is all done.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.